Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Hope you guys having a great Sunday evening. Welcome right into The Real. Welcome to The Real Media, by the way. If you saw this week and earlier today, first off, I want to give a shout out to my man Michael Antonis. Shout out to Mike. Mike killed it today doing the live stream on the play-by-play. I appreciate all the support, people tuning in, showing them love and interacting with them. That was awesome. We have people watching from Australia, from Georgia, from Florida, Mexico, all over the world. So it's been pretty cool to see that. It's kind of Mike and I kind of pinch ourselves when we see that stuff because we start off doing this together, just as just two guys in the middle of Ohio, just for the love of the game, the love of what we do, and the passion what we had for the content we were putting out and the topics we were talking about, and to see now it's reaching people all around the world, and the expansion of the Reel this week as well, which I was getting into. If you saw that, we have two new shows we're announcing. First one will be The Fix with Dan and Chris, be a sports betting show, all about sports betting. Let's see, fantasy, anything fantasy sports, parlays, you name it. We get it up right here, as you can see right there. It'll be The Fix with Dan and Chris, lock, starts, and parlays. And then I'm gonna have a video coming out for Mike's, but I guess we'll just put it out there now. The Professional Fan with Mike Antonis. Only professional takes. And that one, both of these shows are going to be incredible. They're going to be a lot of fun. I think you guys really enjoyed Dan and Chris' show because those two have great chemistry. Just I don't know any better two guys more into just that field with the betting and the arguments and that they get into about it. It's going to be really entertaining. And then you guys know Mike. I cannot wait to see what Mike's got up his sleeves for his show. I think it's going to be a great show. We're going to have more, too. So we're growing the Real Network here, the Real Media, excuse me. Kind of like a network, but the Real Media with different shows. And you'll have my show still, The Real with Joseph Lappin, which is live right now. And so let's get into tonight, though. The Browns lose today, 14-27 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I popped it at the end of the live earlier today with Mike and kind of gave my thoughts on the game a little bit. I wasn't able to watch it fully, but I was able to listen to it and went back and watched the highlights and kind of good grasp on the game. And I had a good feel. I knew what was going on. I was listening the whole time. And, so the Browns are eliminated from the playoffs after today's loss, which, I mean, we kind of knew they weren't going to the playoffs already. I don't think anybody expected them to go to the playoffs, so we knew they were eliminated. But today they're officially eliminated from the playoffs. So now they're officially eliminated. I look at today's game as kind of a microcosm. Okay, who do we take with us going forward from this team? And not only say just this team, but from the whole organization. And that's when I'm watching today, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, okay, who's the piece, who's the guy we're bringing forward with us moving forward? Obviously, Myles Garrett's a guy you have under contract, you're going to bring him with you moving forward, right? You have some other pieces. JOK, if he gets back healthy. Denzel Ward is one of your better assets. You'd like to keep him. Obviously, he's been one of your franchise cornerstones, a great corner, but the health reasons stuff, we'll see what happens there, what they do with him. O-line, I don't see, Joe Bitonio has been a stable guy, but he looks a little older this year. I think he's probably going to retire. You look at that O-line, you don't really see a piece that you feel comfortable with moving forward. I don't. And the running back situation, Nick Chubb, I think we all know what Nick Chubb was and still can be. He just hasn't found that rhythm yet. And I think the offense this year, the running scheme hasn't helped either with a guy, his running style, trying to come back from that kind of injury. I think that it's been the wrong timing, the wrong mix, and the wrong scheme. But outside of that, I don't I don't see any pieces that I look for. I'm like, okay, we could bring them moving forward. Jerry Judy, I think's come alive. I think that's a piece you could bring forward, but it's not a lot. Njoku, but Njoku can have to have his games where he looks inconsistent. Doesn't look like a top 5, 10 tight end, which he should be on a every game basis. But you look around this team, you look around the roster, you look at the organization, even the organizationally, the people we thought last year that were great, you question them a lot this year. Um, what I mean? There's just not a lot of like, okay, we got this, and this, right? And when you look forward to a rebuild or you look forward to the future, maybe competing for either going for a rebuild or you're competing for a playoff spot, right? When I look at the Browns right now, I think you're leaning more towards rebuild. And Mike brought up today that he thought it was more of we're a quarterback away, maybe a couple of tweaks to the roster, and I could see where Mike's coming from because I do agree with that you can one or two signs, especially a quarterback, can really change everything and maybe make your team look a whole lot better than what it really is. But I just don't know if the Browns have enough core pieces anymore. Because remember, back in 2018 when they had this young up and coming team, you're like, man, they got a lot of foundational pieces we can build around. They're going to be around a long time. And because of poor mismanagement from the top, it's just completely been wasted, really. It hasn't, you only gotten 2 playoff appearances out of it, 1 playoff one and a COVID year. That's all you've gotten out of it. You didn't get anything out of it, really. And so it's been a waste. It's been a complete failure. And it goes back to number one. I think the biggest problem, and the guy that I'm bringing up on the show for a long time now, and I've seen other people in the media now starting to talk about him. I've seen other people in the YouTube world finally bringing him up and doing videos on him like I did back in September, and that's Mr. Paul DePodesta. And Paul DePodesta has completely ran this franchise into the ground. His influence on owner Jimmy Haslam and the influence he's had on Jimmy and this plan that he sold him since 2016 has been an absolute utter failure. And it's the reason why the Browns are now in a spot where they are, where they have older core pieces, guys that may want to get out of here, like Myles Garrett. I don't think Myles does, but I'm saying if Myles ever did down the road want to leave, you can't knock him for that. The one to go to a contender. And you look around the organization right now, the financial hell they might be in, as Raul, shout out to Raul's in the house again. Watson, a $96 million anchor. You made a horrible trade there. You miscalculated the trade because you didn't really calculate the fit well, and you didn't put the. It's just, I don't know if they looked more in the background either, where he was mentally at the time, because he just doesn't seem like a confident player. But we've been down that road many times. We need to get back into it. He's well, no, Deshaun Watson's probably never play another down for the Browns again. That's over with. But they're still stuck with that money. It's now you have that hanging over your franchise as well, this contract situation with Deshaun. And so you have all these things going on. And I think it's all because of one man influencing the one man's ear. And that's those two right there on the screen. You go back to what Albert Breer said back in January when they fired Alex Van Pelt. He said when they fired Alex Van Pelt, because Paul DePodesta and owner Jimmy Haslam didn't see enough progress in Deshaun Watson. Never one time did he mention Andrew Berry. And, I've been really hard on Andrew Berry. I've been really hard on Kevin Stefanski at times on the show. But, the longer I've looked into this, the longer I've watched the season play out, and with the reports Albert Breer said, and I listen to people I trust in the media, I think are respectable people like Albert Breer and others who kind of back off of Kevin as well, because they probably know a little more than I do, and people they talk to inside the building. I don't think we really know what Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski who they really are. I think what Kevin's actually done, making 2 playoff appearances with all the influx and all the dysfunction, is actually a miracle. Is he the greatest coach? No. Does he have flaws? Yes. There's things he needs to get better at. But I think what he's been able to control, able to manage and lead to the playoffs twice, and I look back at it now, I'm kind of like, that's kind of a miracle, because I don't think people really realize how bad it is inside those buildings with one person hovering over you. And we don't really know what Andrew Berry is because he's always skipped over. Like in that one, the one I just brought up with Albert Breer, talking about Paul DePodesta and Jimmy Haslam wanted to see more progress. Number one, what does Paul DePodesta know about? Why is he making these decisions? I mean, I don't understand. He came from baseball. Didn't win anything there. Why is this guy all of a sudden some football savant? He's going to be making all these decisions in our organization. And again, you didn't hear Andrew Berry's constantly skipped over. Now, I think Andrew he's the GM. I'm assuming he's made a lot of these deals and these contracts, but has he really? Does he really get the final say, or is he just he's just a puppet? What is he? We don't know, because it's like a mystery, which I think shows, which to me explains why it's so dysfunctional, why they are where they are, and I I don't get it. And so when I look at the Browns now, I see them at a time where they have to make an internal shift first. Before we talk about rebuild or what they can do with the roster, if he doesn't get Paul DePodesta out of the building, it means nothing. It means nothing. We could bring in a new coach, we can bring in a new GM, we can bring in an all-world quarterback. It's not going to work because this guy's philosophy has completely ruined the franchise. And I have a theory I want to throw out there. I'm gonna go with the Mike Vrabel now. You know, we've heard about Mike Vrabel on the show. We talked about him on the show. We've heard his name a lot this year. Could he be the Browns' coaching replacement? Would he replace Kevin Stefanski? Right? It's been like a rumor around Cleveland. People have speculated because why is he here? Who hired him? And when I really think about it now, I kind of see why I'm starting to actually think. You know what? I think based, and I trust what Vrabel says publicly, and I think what Kevin said. They had a relationship before this. I think Kevin really actually did bring Mike Vrabel in now that I think about it, because I think Kevin wanted a football guy in the building that he can lean on, like he said, but also somebody that'll stand up for him in the building. And I'm wondering if you're seeing that play out this year. You're seeing Mike Vrabel on the sidelines now during games, just listening into the games. And, you know, I wonder too, could Mike Vrabel ever actually be a head coach again? Because he should be a head coach, but Mike Vrabel, I think the reason you look back at why he left Tennessee, they said he got fired, but it was really more of just a disagreement. They parted ways. You know, the ownership wanted to bring in a GM that he didn't like, or I believe it was that kind of scenario. It was kind of like a power struggle in a way. And the ownership went off of Mike Vrabel, went with the GM. Now, obviously, it didn't work out for them. You see them this year. But, you know, Mike Vrabel is the kind of guy to me, he has to be in control. He has to have control. He's not going to take a head coaching job unless he has full control. And I don't know if a franchise is going to give that to him. Maybe if you're Jimmy Haslam, would you this is just a theory, something I'm just throwing out there. And this is me speculating, maybe looking at possibilities. If I'm Jimmy Haslam, get rid of Mr. San Diego and replace him with Mike Vrabel. Make Mike Vrabel the president of football operations. And you know, Mike Vrabel this year, if you look at what Mike Vrabel's been doing, you know, you go to Google, right? I'm gonna do it right now. I did this the other day. You go to Google, you type in, what is Mike Vrabel doing with the Cleveland Browns, right? What is Mike Vrabel doing with the Cleveland Browns? And what pops up is pretty interesting. And it says right here, helping the team, right? Vrabel's role at the Browns includes, number one, helping the team. Vrabel says he's enjoying being part of the team and helping where he can. He's also been a big help to Kevin Stefanski, Bubba Ventrone, and the Browns special teams coach. Number two, learning. Vrabel says he's focused on learning and helping, and the things that he can that the things he learns may help him in the future when he gets another opportunity to coach. Okay, so he mentions coaching. Here's the thing that gets interesting, because I think Vrabel will only coach if he has full control again. That's just my opinion. Number three, staying connected. Vrabel says his current role keeps him connected with players in a way that sitting in a big office doesn't. Okay, but then also it brings up number four, how Mike Vrabel is also sitting in on the GM side of it. That he's also sitting in meetings, learning about contract negotiations from the front office side of it, learning about a lot of that, shadowing Andrew Berry in a way. It says it right here on Google, shadowing Andrew Berry, learning about contract negotiations and trades. And I'm thinking, so he's really just learning about all things football operation wise. And could this guy be the next? Could he be the replacement for Paul DePodesta, where he's the president of football operations in Cleveland? Because he likes it in Cleveland. You heard what he said on the Manning cast 2 weeks ago. He has a good relationship with ownership now. Loves Kevin Stefanski, and that he likes a lot of these guys on the team. Mike Vrabel does love being back home. That's all. I think he's probably loved being back home. But I know a lot of people have said that. And I just wonder if he doesn't. I'm not saying he's going to do this, but I'm thinking if he doesn't get a job or a head coaching job, or he gets the full power he wants, because a lot of teams are real hesitant to do that, franchises rather. Could this guy be your replacement for Paulie Podesta? And I think if he is, now I think you got something cooking. Now you feel more comfortable about where we go with this roster moving forward. Now you're looking at maybe a shorter rebuild where you can get back to making the playoffs quicker than we think, because it's all about the right people running the organization, and the Browns do not have that. And I didn't even talk about the game today, because what's the point? It's the same stuff. We know what the problem is, and it reflects on the football field. And so we'll see. That's my take on this. Rose says Boo Berry was a DEI hire. He might be. And if he is, then, you got to do what you got to do, right? I think there's one thing I think a lot of people are starting to realize more now, though, that Kevin Stefanski is kind of been really slapped in the face a lot by the ownership. And that's why I've kind of backed off on Kevin a little bit. We don't really know much, but Andrew Berry's mystery. He's mystery man. You say he's DIR. So we don't, that's why I said we don't know what he does. Is he just there as a puppet? Is he just Mr. San Diego's puppet? Then he's got to go with Mr. San Diego when they get him out of the building. Mr. San Diego is up for a contract extension. If they give Paulie Podesta a contract extension, by the way, just mail it in. It's done. Don't expect anything until he's actually out of Cleveland for good, however long that may be. But I hope people are getting Jimmy Haslam this year. I know, and I'm so glad a lot of people in the media are finally saying the truth. And maybe because people on YouTube have brought it up, just saying. But that what the real problem is, and calling it out finally. No more passes, no more trying to be cute, keep our media credentials and keep our access. It's time for people to start telling it like it is. We know what the problem is. All right, no more messing around. Fans are fed up with it. It's time to clean house fast and, and immediately, and get the real people, get the right people in there running this show and running the organization where it needs to be. And so that's my opening monologue tonight. That's my take on it. But joining me now, we got Jersey's in the house. We got Chris is in the house as well. Gentlemen, thanks for tuning in tonight, and thanks for coming up here. Jersey, you're the Browns fan. I'm gonna let you go first. And I know today you were going off a little bit. We were up here, just even looking at the game. Your take on the things I said, and your overall thoughts.
Well, I only watched it for a few minutes, but it's just obviously same old, same old. The one thing I did see was about the only team I know that can go up and do a hard count to try to get the defense jump off sides, and they made a false start. It's just terrible football. It's just sad that we've had to go through another season, and it's still not over. So it's just what an absolute, the way you just broke it down in your opening monologue. I'm thinking Deep Podesta since 2016, 8 years. What has the Cleveland Browns done in 8 years? They've done nothing in 8 years, and and all of these drafts, bringing in the guys that Dorsey drafted, and your Wards, your Myles Garrett's, it's all been a waste. They're all in their prime or on the back half of their career now, and all the money that's been spent and nothing to show for it. So, somebody has to pay the price.
And you look at why Dorsey left too, is because it was between him or Mr. San Diego, basically. And the Haslams were so bought in on Mr. San Diego that Dorsey they parted ways, right? Because he didn't want to be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You look at his draft picks when he was here; they were all most of them were franchise home run hitters, right? You got those core pieces.
Yeah.
You look at this guy's drafted; it's pure analytical. Oh my gosh, DTR threw the fastest football at the combine. He threw 60-something miles per hour. We got to draft him. That's an analytical hire. Anthony Schwartz, man, he can't catch. He can't do anything. He's kind of a nerd, but man, he runs so fast. We got to get him on the team. Well, let's draft him. How'd that work out? Guy came, he wasn't NFL over Amon St. Brown and all these other guys who were still on the board at the time. And it's just like, what are we doing?
Well, there was this interesting stat that came up today. That few minutes I was watching it, it was a 4th and 1, and it said the Browns led the league in attempted 4th down conversions with 31. So they had played 12 games coming in today, 31. I would love to know how many of those turnover on downs were converted into points by the opposing team on the next drive. For instance, like would they have been better off punting instead of listening to analytics? You know what I mean? Just the analytics thing. You've heard me bitch about it so much. Here, you watched it last night in that Big Ten championship. You know, Penn State gets down within they scored. They're within a touchdown. Instead of just kicking the extra point, the analytics said go for 2, and they don't convert it. Now they're down 8. You know what I mean? It's just stupid. So it's
or let's
30.
let's check a long ball on first down coming out of a timeout.
Yeah,
and he gets intercepted.
Now, when you think about 31 attempted 4th down conversions, that shows you how many times they were in 4th down, because they still punted quite a bit of time. So that shows you how many times they were in a 4th down situation that they still attempted 31. I mean, it's just third and long constantly. Just absolute.
Can't run the ball.
Can't know. I'm telling you, I really believe to a certain extent what I said at the dinner table.
Well, yeah.
Here,
I mean, it's
the 12 team playoff is put together now for college football. The Browns would not have made it in.
They wouldn't have made it. That's why I put it. When you said that, I'm like, you know what? That's going to be the title because it's absolutely correct. The Browns wouldn't even beat SMU.
Right. SMU would whoop their asses.
I disagree with that, but
it's just dismal. It is. It's not even like the Browns are what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers used to be back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. They were even worse. But I mean, it's almost like it's not even a. I mean, it's so dismal. I mean, there's no other. It's just hard to explain. There's no other NFL team that's just consistently that shitty. It just does stupid makes this bonehead decisions all the way from the front office all the way down. Where you're just left scratching your head. So
I got a good poll question there for people too in the chat, and you guys can answer this. You brought up yesterday what's the worst franchise in sports right now? The Browns or the Lakers?
Oh, I say the Lakers.
Yeah,
I don't.
Close. It's pretty close.
Right now, the last couple of years, LA Lakers. For sure. When you talk about just absolute,
that is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I mean, horrific, just terrible. So yeah, but the Browns are right there, right behind them.
Yeah, Gerge, your thoughts on all this, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, they stink. I mean, they have to get rid of, in my opinion, Stefanski and of course the Geek Squad. But I think everyone needs to go. Just clean house in the front office, clean house in your coaching staff, and then restart there. Keep who here. I don't hate Njoku, but I don't know if he's worth the money that they're paying him. He disappears a lot, and then he'll have good games, and he'll look like the stud that he is. And then of course, you keep Myles Garrett and others, but yeah, they stink.
Yeah, I agree. So what would be your first move then? Firing the whole staff and then bringing in Mike Vrabel then?
I mean, obviously, I would obviously interview other people, but I would definitely fire the staff. The staff would be fired. I mean, but then again, if it were me, the staff would have been fired last year, and I not just based on whatever. Yeah, whatever. He won Coach of the Year. But if I was able to get a guy like Harbaugh, you get a guy like Harbaugh. Like, you know, I've always thought of the alternative. You know what I mean? You gotta, if you're gonna say, hey, I'm gonna fire somebody or I'm gonna replace somebody, you better come in and have somebody that's better.
Mm-hmm.
And just the opportunity, if you could have got a guy like Jim Harbaugh, to me, it should have been a no-brainer. They should have went after him, and got him because here Stefanski's done good things, but you could only take a team so far, and I think Stefanski did that, and I think now it's time to get that elite guy. And I don't think Stefanski's that elite guy. I don't.
Yeah, I totally could see that. The reason why I backed off on him, though, I don't because I just think it's not all his fault. I think he's gotten screwed in a lot of ways, as we talked about on the show.
Well,
But I do think you're right. The reason why I think they probably would have to move on is because I just don't think it's salvageable at this point. I think it's just so much has happened and transpired, and I think like you said, I think it's probably time just for a clean slate all across the board, just a fresh start.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's a bad coach or it's his fault, because I don't think it was, but yeah.
You got to find your quarterback, because I think as many yards or that Winston has thrown and this, that, and the other, he clearly has a turnover problem.
Yeah, he's not the guy.
Yeah.
No. Anybody said Jameis Winston should have been we need to sign him and all that, get him under contract for 3 years. I'm good. Jameis Winston's the guy. I don't think there's a quarterback to let you down more in the NFL than him. He'll look like a Hall of Famer for a certain amount of time in a game, and then right when you think it's about to be just the cherry on top, it just goes to complete throws that pick.
The blunders will happen.
Yeah. And it's always at the worst moments.
Yeah. He'll look good, but you gotta know that it's coming. The blunders are coming.
Yeah. Let's see here. Dan said the Cleveland Browns have not won in Pittsburgh in 21 years. So those born in 2003 who are now old enough to drink. You have never seen the Cleveland Browns win a game in the stadium they play in once a year. Yeah, regular season. Bronny James is going to lead the Lakers. Okay. Bring back blunt force trauma petting. Yeah. KM Hall Blunder, shout out to you. G. Bush wants to give him $30 million a year now. I think G. Bush just kind of backtracked on that, though. I think I love G. Bush. Shout out to G. Bush, but I don't know if G wants to do that anymore. But I do know what G's talking about, though. When you look out in the market right now, man, it looks in the draft even. I mean, there's people I trust that cover the draft, and the quarterback guys. They said they wouldn't take a single person in this draft. So it's not the most ideal time to look for a quarterback either. The Brown situation is so bad, other coaches are volunteering to coach the North Carolina Tar Heels in football. Like, yeah. Belichick. What do you guys think of that? Belichick in college with the Tar Heels?
He's just doing it for his son. His negotiations with North Carolina is that they have to make his son Steve the head coach in waiting.
Huh. Well, he could probably get that in the pros. I mean, I don't know if he'd have to go to the North Carolina Tar Heels for that.
I don't think an NFL team would say, all right, we'll hire your son as the head coach next year or 2 years from now. I don't think that would be something that an NFL coach or NFL franchise would do. Now, North Carolina Tar Heels in football, they would for sure.
They hired Mac Brown when he was old and on the ESPN set.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're in the hiring older coaches.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Here, I remember seeing someone on the sideline of the Patriots, but I mean, no one really knows if he's a potential bad head coach or good head coach. I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, I think somebody may try it. I don't know. I don't know if that's why he's messing around with North Carolina Tar Heels. I don't know if it's because of that, but I don't know. I just don't think that's. Who knows? That's just really bizarre. Like, what are you doing? I just don't. I don't know.
Bama Dude 18 said, I guess that makes two of us. Dan said Steve Belichick looks like he cuts off Cadillac converters in Firestone Park. Yeah, I thought I saw him over
Good
there.
money in that shit right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's nice. Brown should hire Jim Caldwell. He did very good with the Lions. Gersh, you're a Lions fan. Your thoughts on Jim Caldwell?
Oh my gosh, he must be sipping way too much alcohol.
Oh my gosh.
Terry might be drunk. I mean, he did okay. I wouldn't call it very good. I mean, for the Lions standard, I guess it's very good. I mean, 8-8. I mean, but
how old is Jim Caldwell now?
Very old. I mean,
yeah, he's been on football for a while, right?
Yeah. Well, no,
he's passed him by.
Yeah, I don't. I would
when
not.
You got
hire
Mike Vrabel in the building. It don't make any sense. Why don't you just hire him?
I think Terry's Jim Caldwell's cousin.
Dan said the
40.
Fix. Oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna get that in a second. The Fix, their first open line, had plus 30,000 odds on the Jim Caldwell reference. Owensby said the Browns should just move again. That might be an option, you know.
I mean, if the Browns and the Bengals decided to just combine their team, do you still think that they would make the playoffs or miss it?
Talent-wise,
they'd be even worse. They'd be even worse.
Well, talent-wise, on paper, they'd be all world, but
you still would have to choose between Kevin Stefanski and Zach Taylor as your head coach.
Well, I would take Stefanski over. Yeah. I don't like Zach Taylor at all. Zach Taylor, my gosh, that guy. Watching him in the Hard Knocks thing is just even worse. And they're built. I mean, isn't it funny too when you watch that Hard Knocks? Just all the conference rooms and the other 3 franchises look like NFL like franchises, like buildings, and you look at theirs, it look like a freaking back of a like a service garage they were doing their meeting in. Like
I had a Bengals fan in the finance office on Saturday, and he had Bengals vanity plates. He's from around there. He drove all the way to get a Bronco and all this stuff, and he said, I'm not transferring these plates. It's just time to let go of the Bengals. It's just time. I can't take it anymore. I just don't want them anymore. Give me a temp tag. And he left his Bengals plates behind because he said, he said he just can't take it anymore. He said, I think it's just time to move on.
I agree. Watching them too, you mentioned this jersey. You know, we watched Joe Burrow in high school, and we know how great he is, and he is great. But he just doesn't strike me as a guy when you watch his demeanor. I just don't see him leading the franchise to a Super Bowl.
No,
when they lost that game, and he literally sat on the sideline, mic'd up. Well, that's what he's like. Well, that's too bad, and just walked out.
That stinks. No, so that stinks.
Yeah, that stinks. I'm thinking.
Yeah, when you watch him in those candid moments on that Hard Knocks, this guy is like,
yeah, I'm good. Great, hell of a talent. You know how talented he is, and he is a ball spinner. And he's a hell of he's a top 3-5 quarterback in the league. But something about him just
something's off with that dude. Like it's like he's not he certainly doesn't seem like he's 100% dialed into football. You know, like I mean, he certainly has the talent, absolutely does. But man, is he in that locker room like a Tom Brady used to do? Dude just steps right in the locker room, and everyone follows. You just got that presence. I don't think that dude. I mean, he just seems like he's out in right field somewhere. I don't know. It's like, where's this guy? Is he thinking about his career after football? Is he? He just doesn't.
I don't know. I mean, he hit lightning in a bottle in 2019, all the way till probably up until they made that Super Bowl. You know, he was hit lightning in a bottle. It was high in his career and looked great. But then now you kind of seen the team and just you just, like I said, you watch that Hard Knocks, you're just kind of like you just said, it's all the reasons you point out. You're just kind of like, I don't know, is this starting to kind of decline down, or I mean, before when he was at Ohio State, you go listen to a lot of the coaches that were with him at Ohio State. I've heard a lot of them talk about him when he was there. Great, they loved him, but I mean, he got beat up by Haskins that one time because Haskins was just better at that time. He was at
Yeah.
that time. Anybody in the building would tell you that. And Urban Meyer used to ride his ass every single day so bad. I mean, it would get bad. And signs that you wondered if he could handle it. But yeah, I don't know. He just looks like when I watch him, and I just kind of like, I don't know. There's just something like you said. It just seems a little too not as intense as you want it to be.
Yeah, just not fully engaged.
Yeah.
Like you Brady or Peyton Manning or guys like that. Like, man, they were.
Yeah, I don't think it's even Mahomes' mindset. Mahomes is a silent killer.
Oh, absolutely, a damn assassin. You know what I mean?
Lamar Jackson, hell of a dog competitor.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Matthew
Josh
Stafford.
Allen, Matthew Stafford. I actually no, you're right. Matt Stafford is.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford's a dog. Like
Matthew Stafford can spin it.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best ball spinners of all time.
I'm gonna tell you, almost every guy you see playing quarterback in the NFL is, for the most part, whether they're good or not good, they seem engaged when they're on the field. You know what I mean? They seem like either they're just fully locked in, or they're just scared shitless to the point where they look like they're fully locked in. But this guy just looks like he's just out there. Doesn't even take it serious. I mean, and to lose a game, just well, that stinks.
Oh, Dan. Yeah, I'll put that up there. I just saw it too, Dan. But yeah, to finish that up, too, speaking of him too, it makes me think of Jameis Winston. I thought Coach JB made a good point this week. What you were saying, Gergs, about this is not the guy you want to bring back going forward. And Jameis, you saw like today was a great example of that. Jameis is a guy like we know he'll stuff a stat sheet and he'll throw picks and let you down at the end. But also the antics in the press conference too, and all this stuff that he keeps himself with the fans like the stuff he says off the field, and he's entertaining and all that. That stuff wears out eventually. And if you're not winning games with that stuff, guys in the locker room are going to start to look sideways and be like, "Oh, geez, here he goes again."
Well, yeah, like this dude's trying to keep himself. He's found a way to try to keep himself relevant for a little bit, and it's by acting like a fool, in a sense. You know what I mean? So acting he acts like a little kid out there in a way, but that's not what you're out there to do. You're out there to win, just to not turn the ball over, and to make plays and win games, and to lead the team, especially the offense. So. Not go out there and say all this, say a bunch of crazy shit and act crazy to just make people like you. So I agree with that. I was watching him a couple of days ago, and I was like, man, here, dude, just play football. Yeah, go out there and smile and have a good time. But God, the guy acts in a sense, acts like a fool. He just acts like a child. He acts like a child.
It's better to be respected in life than liked. But
right.
As the great people Ray Lewis would say. But Dallas and Cincinnati are both examples of why you spend all your money on a quarterback and wide receiver. Or why you don't spend all your money on a quarterback and wide receiver.
Cincinnati hasn't even spent the money yet on the wide receiver.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to build it like a high school. That's why I've always said they're like a high school team, because that's how they're built. They're built like a gadgety high school team. They just wants to air it out, and maybe they have more talent than everybody. They'll get by, win some games, stuff it up, on the stat sheet and put up some points, but they're not really going anywhere.
They just have to build a defense. I mean, Chase Brown's legit. I like him. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just the poorest franchise.
I think
the coach. I don't like the coach.
I think it might be best for the ratings to stop talking about the Browns and the Bengals.
No, I agree. I was going to good transition, Gertz. But I'm going to get somebody's comments real quick. We should be trying to trade for Sam Darnold from the Vikings. He's doing great. I mean, I think Sam Darnold will be a lot, but I liked him better. I would like him better next year as a bridge than Jameis, because I think Darnold has shown something this year. I don't think he's turned the ball over as much. If I'm not mistaken.
But he has an offensive line. This Sam Darnold would be the same Sam Darnold in Cleveland. Don't get that twisted. Again, with this offensive line, he'd be throwing picks too. He'd be scared crap. Sam Darnold's never mind. I'm going to keep this PG.
I think the line's been holding up a little better though the last 3 games. It's just he's just not. He's throwing some error passes.
I just want Minnesota to go all in on Darnold and trade JJ McCarthy to the Browns.
Well, I'd love that too. JJ's better than anybody come out in this draft.
Oh yeah,
by far. I don't know if they're going to do that. I would love that personally, but I don't care if he's coming off that injury or not. He'll still be better than what we got. Burrow has been to more Super Bowls than any Browns quarterback. Yeah. Breaking news: Juan Soto just signed a 15-year, $765 million deal with the New York Mets, largest in MLB history.
$765 million. I'll tell you, who's going to be the first one to be in $1 billion contract? Pat Mahomes?
$3 million a year.
Is
my math off?
What did you say it was?
53 a year.
He is. What is it? 765 for 15. 51.
Oh yeah, I guess that's right. Okay, yeah, 51 million. Jesus. Juan Soto in 15 years is going to be
Glue Factory.
I mean, what in the world? I gotta love baseball. 15 years. Just lock them up.
He said, "Who has better hair, Winston or Al Sharpton?" Don't ask Chris about Sam Darnold. He still thinks Josh Rosen is better.
Question is, who has stolen more, Al Sharpton or Jameis Winston?
Anyways, don't ask Chris about Sam Darnold. He still thinks Josh Rosen is better. Then he said, "And you're the finance guy."
Yeah. It's late.
Yeah. Well, speaking of numbers, though, Chris, before we get into our last topic for the show, and Dan, I seen Link. You want to come up here just for this for a second? If not, no worries. But
Dan would much rather make his comments in the comment section than face the music.
Oh, so you're saying he's a keyboard warrior?
Oh.
I think that's Corey. Corey holds that title. Corey, he was cussing out his TV last night about to punch it. Then when you talk to him about it in person or on things, just
Corey.
Totally different.
Corey's quite possibly the worst fan to watch a game with.
Did you see that picture of Corey? You guys have watched Corey on the show. He comes up here, he's quiet and stuff. He's watching his team. This guy, he turns into like he's like some thug or something. Look at this picture. Look at him here with his hat backwards. This is after they got him. He was so into the game. Look at that.
Man, that dude means business.
I mean, yeah, he's about to fuck somebody up. I mean, look at that guy.
Yesterday.
He looks like a Georgia fan.
Yeah, like he was
Carson Beck. When Carson Beck I'm talking the moment he hit the ground and wasn't getting up for a second, there was nothing else that was going on. He throws his phone and says that their championship hopes are completely over, and they didn't even know. I mean, Carson Beck could have been fine after that. Like, he had zero idea, just throws his phone on the ground, by the way. Probably shattered it. This is it. We're done. Just screams. I'm like, Corey, you're the worst fan in the world.
He does it every game.
We're gonna lose. We suck. I mean, he must have said Georgia sucked at least 10 times yesterday in the first half. And then when they win, he's like, yeah, baby, go Dogs.
Oh, I know. We're gonna win the whole thing and all. And they
said he sucked. They sucked 10 times.
We're gonna get into that in a second with the CFP. But Gergs, you got Dan up here. Dan, welcome on in.
I knew I would.
Well, before
and then Corey had to watch the Atlanta Falcons today, which probably made his hurt even worse.
Yes, yeah. Sam Darnold throwing for 5 TDs. Oh my God!
The Atlanta Falcons 3 weeks ago were like 10-1 favorites to win the NFC South, and now they're behind the Buccaneers a game. literally they've lost 3 weeks in a row, and the Bucks have won 3 weeks in a row. So we're back to that conversation about the Bucks about to be the 4-time winners in a row of the shittiest division in football.
Unbelievable.
And then we get to hear nobody wants to play the Buccaneers in the playoffs.
Chris, you know you don't want to play the Buccaneers in the playoffs. We played you tough last year in the playoffs. We're your only loss this year. You do not want to see Baker Mayfield in the playoffs. You already know that.
I'd rather see Baker than Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Yeah, the Eagles. Okay, what other team?
That's pretty much it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I don't want to see Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Cooper Kupp either.
And guess who beat Jalen Hurts in the playoffs last year? The Bucks.
I know, and they beat him this year.
Yeah, so we're not completely ruined. Although today's first half playing against the Raiders was not a good sign of what was happening.
Well, you guys just kind of got a good preview of what's to come on the fix. By the way, you ask what the fix is. Well, we dropped it this week. We got a new show coming to the Real Media. That's right. The Fix with Dan and Chris is coming soon to the Real Media. You guys want to give a little thoughts here on the show, what's to come, and what do you guys got planned?
Yes, this is where Chris gives you all the ideas of ways to lose your money, and I try to save you from following his advice. No, it should be fun. It should be fun. Chris and I have these conversations often through text and conversation privately, so we figured, why not just do it on a stream, and why not just talk about it live? I don't think there's any human in my life that I've lost as much money with as Chris over the past 10 or so years, so we might as well help other people do it too.
Chris, your thoughts?
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, but sports gambling is starting to take over all industries, and it's just a fun conversational piece. Not that we do it very much anymore, because we both have families, wives, mortgages, and kids that limit us from actual being able to participate as much as we'd like to. But it's still a fun way to watch a game. It's the Pete Rose theory. Every game's better to watch when you got money on it.
Jersey, what are you looking forward to watching that show?
Believe us, we usually have
just the bravado, the back and forth. Here, I've been around it for, I don't know, Chris, when did you start over at Barbaro with us? What year was that?
Like 15.
So it's been going on for 9 years now. So I'm all about it. I know exactly. I mean, it started as soon as they met each other, and it's going to be great to see it, like Dan said, being streamed and people commenting, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm pretty excited. It's going to be great content.
Yeah, what are you going to throw in there, Gergs? I'm sorry.
Dan said there's games are always better when you have money on it, and I just wanted to say that, and you better believe that we usually have money on it.
I know anytime we're talking about a game or something, you'll bring up a guy like in the game, you're like, man, the Njoku sucks, and Dan's like, let me guess, you got him in your parlay today, and you're like, yeah, I didn't even score a touchdown.
Yeah,
and we'll go through our blackball list of players that are blackballed from any participation in any active betting or things, just based on how much they've disgraced us in the past. It doesn't even matter how good they are. I just have players that I just completely blackballed that I will never watch or cheer for.
I can't wait to hear that list.
That's crazy what the parlay shit's turned into, man.
De'Aaron Fox is one.
De'Aaron Fox. And the swipe is not
unbelievable. He's like a roller coaster ride, dude.
Yeah.
What happened to Mobley today? Is he hurt?
I heard he had an ankle injury because he had a hell of a career high game yesterday, and then they said it was an ankle injury. So, but I don't think it's anything too serious, but what to see.
Oh, what happened to Disley?
Oh,
go ahead, Chris.
Shoulder injury on that last.
Oh, are you kidding me? He's a tight end. Tight ends don't leave the game hurt.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, Alabama fans were hurt today.
Absolutely unreal.
Now, if you guys saw that, the college football playoff bracket came out today, and you can see here at number 1 they had the Oregon Ducks, who were undefeated. At number
Oh
2,
my God, Quentin Johnson caught a pass.
At number 2, they had the Georgia Bulldogs, Corey's Bulldogs. Number 3, Boise State. Number 4, Arizona State. All will have a bye because they're conference winners. And then the first matchup in the first round at the top there, who will play Arizona State, will be between number 5, Texas, and number 12, Clemson. Number 8, the Ohio State Buckeyes versus number 9, Tennessee, and that winner will play Oregon. Number 6, Penn State, will go up against number 11, SMU, and that winner will play Boise State. And number 10, Indiana, will go up against number 7, Notre Dame, and that winner will play Georgia. And so that was the bracket today that came out. Obviously, Alabama did not get in. SMU got over Alabama, and Clemson as well. And that was a lot of the debates today. SMU lost last night to Clemson, and so people wonder, did they have a strong enough schedule? Because Alabama does play tougher competition. But Alabama does have 3 losses and didn't really help themselves and lost to Vanderbilt and stuff like that. So, Jersey, I'll start with you. Your overall take on the bracket, and do you like it? Do you have a problem with it? What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I got a problem with it. I got a problem with Boise State and Arizona State being seated that high. I'm tired of this. You won your conference. I don't give a shit about that. This shows you why. This right here shows you why. And boy did the committee take care of Georgia. I mean, Georgia has basically they should just put them in the championship game. And then really the same thing for Texas, the other SEC team. Here, they'll beat Clemson, they'll pound the shit out of Arizona State. Okay, but then they got to get through, Ohio State, Oregon. So, they kind of shit on the Big Ten. Here, this is Arizona State at 4, Boise State at 3. These are the teams getting these teams. You're playing in a Mountain West and you're getting a bye. It's just absolutely crazy. And I'm not saying that Alabama should be in. Here, they didn't win the games they should have won, but my gosh, Alabama would fucking pound the shit out of Boise State, Arizona State, SMU. You know what I mean?
Probably Clemson.
Alabama goes from
goes
from hopefully going to the playoffs to play in Michigan in the Reliant Bowl or something like that.
Wow. And you better believe it's going to change because of that. Alabama being left out, there's going to be such a stir made over this shit. They'll make tweaks to this. I mean, I
think
love
they deserve being left out.
Well, I'm not saying here they put themselves in a predicament. You know what I mean? But at the same time, though, you can't put Boise State in at 3. Is Boise State better than Ohio State, Texas?
They should rank them. They should rank them and seed them as far as their rankings. I do think conference championships should get in, but I don't think they should automatically get a bye.
There should be a point system. They should run it like BCS.
But in the NFL, I mean, the Buccaneers are going to get a 4 seed, and Minnesota is going to get the 5 seed, and Minnesota has 5
you
don't
more get a bye though.
No,
but that doesn't mean that that's right either. Just because the NFL does it, I think teams should be seeded based on a point system, just like high school is. I mean, it works and it forces teams to play good competition, put a schedule together. So now you could have winning your conference championship carries a lot of weight in the point system, but this setup here is just this is crazy. This is stupid. And like I said, I'm glad they're on a 12-team playoff, but this conference championship bullshit. Okay, you get an automatic bye because you won your lousy conference. That's just crazy. So, and I'm with what Saban was talking about today. They were talking about because eventually it's coming down to 2 conferences. All of these conferences are going to merge. There's going to be 2 conferences.
Super conferences.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to be. And then there's a governing body that just creates their schedules for them, similar to how the NFL creates their schedules, NBA creates their schedules. So where, you know what I mean? You can't have one school just playing cupcakes all year. You know what I mean? It's pretty balanced out. And then and then they get seeded based on that. But here, it's moving in the right direction. I still think they really set Georgia up. Georgia's just walking right in. Texas, all the way to the semi. So,
what do you think of Penn State being ranked over Ohio State?
At first I had an issue with it because Ohio State beat them, but Ohio State has the worst loss because they lost to Michigan at home. So,
Penn State should not.
Penn State played an extra game.
Nope.
Again, if Ohio State just beats the team that they should beat at home, Michigan, we're not having this conversation.
Right.
So, they carry some of they're ultimately responsible for it. But
yeah, their coaching staff's responsible for it. I already gotten that rant for an hour and a half.
They got odds out yet?
I can pull them up.
Kind of odds you like here, Chris?
Your thoughts on the bracket, Gergs?
I actually like Notre Dame in this. I think Notre Dame against Indiana and then against Georgia. I think they could beat Georgia.
Are you what?
I do.
Are you watching the same Georgia team I watched last night?
Did you watch Rudy today?
No, I really believe that first off, Carson Beck might not even play. So I think that's a big deal. And I just
they could still win with the guy that got his head blown off last night in that hit. My God, that hit. Good grief.
Well, Chris just gave away his bracket.
Do you think Notre Dame's going to beat Georgia?
I think Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame can beat. Yeah. Yes, I do.
Well, you don't think Ryan, but I know one of your critiques, which is valid, is that Ryan Day hasn't won a big game like that. What game has Marcus Freeman won? With less talent.
I don't disagree with you. What I'm getting at is Marcus Freeman doesn't have the talent that Ohio State has.
But he still hasn't won a game, though. He couldn't even get.
Ryan Day hasn't won anything, and he has the most talented rosters every year, and he still hasn't won anything of importance. That's my problem with Ryan Day. Marcus Freeman doesn't have the 5 stars.
No, he doesn't. And Notre Dame is only recruiting certain types of. They're not recruiting the same players at Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia. I'm not saying they could get them. I don't even think they're recruiting them. I think that they want guys that are academic All-Americans, and
they don't go to Dade County.
Yeah, they want those type of guys. And I think
Dade County.
Yeah, they're not gonna. I don't think they veer from that. But now,
look at you guys pounding liquid deaths over there.
Right.
Oh yeah. By the way,
those
liquid
things are delicious.
If you want to sponsor us, we're all about it, right, Dad?
Oh God, the amount of money we spent here, the amount of money we spend on liquid deaths, they should sponsor us.
Yeah, you should sponsor
sparkling waters.
Oh yeah,
that's the cactus lime one. That's good.
Yeah, that is good.
I'm drinking one right now.
A little better with some Tito's in it.
That's actually good on ice, dude. When you put it on ice.
On ice with some Tito's. Oh, dude, slam those things.
Man, I go in that 7-Eleven, get that styrofoam cup with some chunky, or what's that, chewy ice in it, and pour it in there.
But here, is Ohio State better with Marcus Freeman as a coach? Hell yeah. But here, Notre Dame is going to get, if they beat Indiana, which I'm not sold on Indiana. They haven't played anybody other than Ohio State, but they're going to get destroyed by Georgia. Georgia and Texas are just and all of this are just way more physical than everybody else. I mean,
I disagree. I think this year Georgia is weak. I do.
they're not what they.
I think they're weak.
Well, yeah, I agree with that, but they play a different type of football than everyone else does. I mean, they punish other teams. If you watch that game last night, I was like, holy! I mean, that's how football should be played. I mean, I don't. There's no other team. There's no other team in that playoff that plays that type of football other than them and Texas do. And there's no other teams.
Dan, here's the opening lines for you. Texas is 11-point favorite. Ohio State's a 7.5-point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State's an 8.5-point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame's an 8-point favorite. And that's it.
Yeah, take Indiana and Tennessee plus the points.
All right. I didn't say much about Ohio State. They're 7-point favorite at home.
The Vols, baby. The Vols are coming to town.
Oh, so Ohio State's going to shit the bed.
Is Odell coming to town?
I don't think Boise's a sleeper, Raul. I like Raul. I like you. I like you, dude. And I'm glad you contribute on the show. You say a lot of great things. But I don't think Boise is a sleeper.
Here, dude, their only loss is a 3-point loss at Oregon.
Who else did they beat? Okay, who did they beat?
I get it.
They went through the Mountain West.
No, I get it.
Oh,
I understand.
I mean, they got that. I mean, Ashton Genty is that guy's a nightmare for anybody to guard. But yeah,
I mean, Penn State, in my opinion, has the easiest path. In my opinion, I mean, to get SMU and then to get Boise.
Well, they do. But what I'm saying is Georgia also has. Here, Penn State does too, but I'm saying Georgia is just kind of like set up because either one of those two teams they're going to pound the shit out of. They're going to crush Notre Dame. They're going to kill Indiana.
So
Boise State.
Ohio State's got to beat Tennessee, Oregon, and then probably Texas just to play in the championship.
Yeah. Correct.
There's
right.
There's no here. Ryan Day ain't beaten all three of those in a row and then winning the national title. No way.
And then the national title game, he'd probably have to play Georgia. So he'd have to play Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, Georgia, and win all four of those games. But he couldn't beat a walk-on Michigan quarterback.
And then Georgia in the semi has to beat Penn State.
Did you guys see Kirk's son signed with Michigan today?
Yeah, that's a telltale sign there, dude.
Change is going to be a brewing down there in Columbus. That's why. Well,
you got Larry Ellison back in the whole University of Michigan now because his estranged wife is a Michigan alum. His like fifth wife. So all that NIL money is going to come pouring into Michigan and get all those recruits.
Yeah. The son of Kurt.
They're going to have a $50 million roster.
Yeah, Raul, I was about to bring that up. Boise State actually, I think, could beat Penn State. James Franklin, man. You want to talk about we talk about Ryan Day or Marcus Freeman at the time. I don't think there's a coach in college football. He's never won a big game that makes some of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen more than James Franklin. I mean, he showed it again last night. I mean, just blatant. Elementary school coaches wouldn't make those type of decisions he makes. It just completely costs his team.
Need a Travis Kelce touchdown here.
He seems like he gets emotional. Like he starts to make the guy gets emotional on the sideline. I think he just makes
something about him. It's just not. I could totally see Boise State just running all over him.
I don't know about dude. Gosh,
I mean, it's Penn State. They choke in every big game. He's never won a big game.
Still, though, it's just the
level. Thoughts: Texas versus Notre Dame in the ship.
How come you got Notre Dame going all the way?
No, I have Texas winning it all, but I have Texas versus Notre Dame in the championship.
I don't even know about Texas anymore.
You had
That's
Notre
one thing about
Dame go to
this
the
year is-
Yeah, they beat Georgia, and then they beat whoever that comes out of that.
That would be a horrible
That's the-
championship if Notre Dame's in it.
And
It would.
Boise. Whoever
Oh
wins.
man, I can't wait to hear you and Corey go at it over this.
Right now.
Yeah, where's Corey at?
I mean,
Corey,
what's
and you're
Corey think of
watching?
Kirk Cousins?
Corey's
Is
in
he
his
ready? Is
basement.
he ready for him to get the boot or what? Is he
Yeah,
ready for Penix to come in?
Yeah, he was yelling for Penix last week.
Are you sure it wasn't? Never mind.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I hope Notre Dame is good in because it's just not fun to watch.
Corey, if you're watching, will you come on here and tell me why your Falcons stink so bad?
I'm gonna text him.
Oh my God!
Joey says Indiana will beat Notre Dame.
Which all but solidifies Notre Dame beating Indiana.
So anybody DiBiaseo picks, they're just not winning.
Yeah. DiBiaseo is the one that, Oh, he dropped.
No, Notre Dame will beat Indiana, and then they'll get shit slapped on by Georgia.
They're beating Georgia.
No,
Dude, the
No
odds
way
in that
in hell,
game are going to
dude.
be there. Georgia's probably going to be a 10-point favorite in that game.
The run of Marcus Freeman, and by the end of this run, every Ohio State fan is going to be wanting Marcus Freeman. The guy's
Dude.
the real dude.
I'm not saying he's not, but he don't have the talent anyway. There's such a talent gap between him and Georgia.
He has a veteran quarterback. I'm telling you, they're a better team than what people think they are.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
No, they are not, dude. I'll bet you. How much you want to bet on that? I'll bet on that game. I'll bet you on.
6 is already starting.
$500.
Yeah, here we go.
First live bet on the show.
The fix is already starting.
Chris will get a Georgia Bulldog tattooed on his asshole.
No. The last bet I made like that, they backed out.
Dude, Georgia's gonna pound the piss out of them.
Yeah, agree to disagree. I don't think Georgia's Georgia.
Clip that,
But
Joe.
they're
Joseph,
still
make sure you save that one.
so much better than Notre Dame.
You want to clip that one?
I got it.
Cut for in a couple weeks when Georgia beats Notre Dame 45-10.
Dan, what do you well, hold on one second. Indiana beating Notre Dame would be like Kent State beating Avon. Dan, what do you think of this bracket? What do you like?
I mean, it looks like it's set up for some future TV ratings in a certain amount of matches they want to take place. It looks like it's set up because they want Texas and Georgia to have a rematch in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
And why did they decide to make it 12 teams? Why not like 16 teams like a normal bracket would be?
I don't know. I've heard that they're talking about going to 14 already. So like, why not just go to 16? You know what I
just
mean?
go to 16 and then. Well, I'm sure they're worried about the 1 seed playing a 6. Well, I mean, still it's competitive, but even the bracket itself looks cheap. Just look at that bracket. It looks like I made that on Photoshop at my desk and passed it out.
Yeah.
I mean, just looks corny, but I mean, I am glad they're doing this format now instead of like the top 4. You can't lose a game during the season or else you're not eligible. Like this gives at least a team a chance to make a run. But some of these runs look like they're going to be pretty hard. I mean, I don't know if any team in this bracket has a tougher run than Ohio State does.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
the more I look
Right.
at this, I'm like Texas and Georgia. I mean, they got to play Clemson. They should win that. Then they got to go play Arizona State. We already know that's going to be. And then they'll play an Oregon or Ohio State team. Probably be coming off a big win, emotional win, coming off a high.
Tennessee
They'll probably win that.
Ohio State.
What's that?
I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion that the Buckeyes are going to win that game.
No,
Well,
I'm so saying. I
not.
said
They lost to 6-5 Michigan with a quarterback that couldn't even throw a spiral.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think if Tennessee wins, Oregon, maybe that may make their, because I think Ohio State will give Oregon a better game than Tennessee. But I don't know. But I think you're right. I think Texas and Georgia. Probably it's Georgia. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, Georgia isn't as strong like you said, Gergs. I mean, I get why you're not as high on them because they look vulnerable this year more than they have in the last 3-4 years. But I don't know.
Texas versus Notre Dame. You heard it here first. You'll hear it on the Fix second.
Do you think
My
Oregon?
gosh,
You
that
don't
will
think
not be
Oregon could
airing
beat?
anywhere on our show.
You don't think Oregon could beat Texas?
I think Oregon can beat Texas. Yes, I don't think they will. I think when it comes down to it, Texas's defense is just stronger. So I think whoever gets the most stops, and I think Texas's defense will get more stops than Oregon's.
I'm curious to see what quarterback really elevates himself in this playoff too. I want to see Quinn Ewers. If you want to be a real NFL draft pick, you need to really come out here in this playoffs and look like a guy that can lead a team and make some big plays and lead your team down the stretch here. I don't know if Carson Beck's be healthy, but he was a guy that came in the year, was supposed to be a Heisman candidate, and he went from being a first round projection to some people to now he's like a 4th or 5th rounder at best. He's another guy, if he plays, needs to come out here and show what he's really got. Curtis Rourke, you're another guy that came out of nowhere this year in Indiana. What can you do against a better team against Notre Dame? I mean, better competition, rather. I mean, let's see what you got. And then Dalen Gabriel, if you want any shot at NFL teams taking you more seriously in the draft, come out there and, let's see what you – I mean, Tennessee's quarterback's really underrated. He's just younger, but that's what I'm really looking forward to. I want to see what quarterback really elevates. Drew Aller, you want to elevate your stock? Here's your shot, bud. So, Gerge doesn't buy it into it, but let's see what you got. Is Colt McCoy starting for Texas? No, he's not. He said next it's going to be a field of 64.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Teams just be beat into oblivion.
I just love how somehow Michigan gets Alabama. I mean, Alabama's the number 11 team in the country, and they were, the first one out of this bracket, and somehow they just get Michigan in a bowl game.
Well, yeah, it's like Dan said. They set this up. This bracket, when you look at it, it's set up for the perfect TV ratings. I mean, you got an SEC school going against Ohio State. You got Clemson going against Texas. You got Notre Dame will be in there. You got Penn State still there. Then you'll have Notre Dame probably going up against Georgia. That's a massive ratings. Ohio State or Tennessee going against a Big Ten school up against Oregon, or SEC school in Tennessee going against Oregon. And then down the road you'll have Texas versus either Oregon or Ohio State or Tennessee. And then you'll have Georgia probably, or maybe Notre Dame, like Chris said, going against somebody. And then down the road they'll be in the championship game. So yeah, I mean, it's just massive ratings all throughout this. And yeah, and the team that just got left out of the bracket is going up against a 7-5 team at the bowl game.
It's all about. It's because the SEC controls it. I mean, they take care of themselves. So yeah, they're going to put Alabama against Michigan in hopes that they beat the hell out of them. That's what they're going to try to do because they hate Michigan too. But that's the bad thing about it, because ESPN owns owns the playoff, which they own SEC. So, I mean, it's always set up for the SEC.
Well, that's where the most money is in that conference.
Yeah.
A lot of those fan bases, they don't have NFL teams. So that's, they're all in on their college team. But, yep. So that's our thoughts on that.
Who do you got, Joe?
What's that?
Who's your early pick for championships?
Well, I mean, the way it's looking now, it's like Georgia's going to coast right in, man. They'll probably be healthy. I mean, I don't know about Carson Beck, but even without him, I mean, I just don't. Texas, I mean, I just don't know about Quinn Ewers. I'm not sold. Quinn Ewers just. I wouldn't doubt through this playoff that you see Arch Manning get put in. I mean, they're just itching to put him in. I just don't.
Isn't Texas 0-2 against them this year? Georgia?
Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I could see it being.
They're only 2 losses.
But I just love Dan Lanning too. I could see it being Oregon, Georgia.
That's what I was going to say. 'Cause I think Texas. I don't trust Texas.
Because Oregon just plays so fast, man. Gosh darn, and it's like they play fast. There's just no mistakes. They can really wear. Now, when you go against a team like Georgia, they got those big, thick guys on defense, and you can wear them guys down, man, with that kind of speed. They're big, but those, come third quarter, late in the third quarter, fourth quarter, them big hogs start to die down a little bit. So, I just love what Dan Lanning does. So I could see Georgia, Oregon. I mean, obviously, I'd love to see Ohio State get on a run, but I don't believe in Ryan Day. So, but
Yeah, what I get your thoughts on that, Jersey. What was
yeah,
your
bring
thoughts,
Ryan, get Dan Lanning to come to Ohio State.
I wish. Jersey, what was your thoughts about Ryan Day and that loss? I didn't get your take on it.
Not surprised. Guy can't win shit. He can't win shit. He hasn't won a big game. You know what I mean? It's get him. It's just not here. You got big games, man. You got to get the guys got to be up. And the younger these guys are, the harder it is to get them up. I mean, you don't got to get NFL guys up because they're pros. These guys are professional football players. They know what they got to do. They prepare. These college guys, they got girls, videos, games, partying. I mean, they're so distracted that, I mean, and they're young. You got to get these guys up. I just don't think he does that. He just doesn't. I don't think he inspires guys. You know what I mean? And Ohio State, there's been no physicality since Urban Meyer left. They're soft. They play soft. They think soft. And that's why they end up falling short.
He said he was going to hang 100 on Michigan. He hasn't in the last 4 years combined.
I know. I don't even
When's-
care about the Michigan game. Who cares? I want to win the national title. I don't care about Michigan. You know what I mean?
The title this year.
Well, but isn't that what it's all about, though?
Of course.
You want to win a national title. If people hung up on this Michigan, I don't care about that. I could care less. I mean, they're still in the playoff. They still could win a national title, irregardless of losing to Michigan. But he shouldn't lose to Michigan. Sure, so shouldn't have lost this year, and he probably shouldn't have lost here last year. I'll give him that one. I mean, you got JJ McCarthy, and that team was just playing great, man. O-line was excellent. So, but most of he should probably have one loss against Michigan, but besides the fact he can't beat anybody. I mean, gosh darn. His best game has been the game against Georgia.
And he lost.
And we would, somehow, even if Marvin Harrison would have got hurt, he still would have found a way to lose the game.
Yeah.
The guys just don't play hard. I have not seen Ohio State players play hard since Urban left. They just don't play like. I mean, I watched Georgia last night, and I'm watching Texas, and these fucking guys, man, are playing football the way it's supposed to be played. And Ohio State just doesn't do that. Michigan was doing that shit last year.
No, I agree. Yeah, there's just not the culture's not the same. It's softer. You hear players that were there when the transition happened, and they're telling people, we went from, almost being like in a military school every day. We felt like with Urban to it was a vacation every day ever since Ryan Day's gotten in, and I think you're seeing that on the field. And just it's sad about this year. There's no dominant team in college football this year. Like last year was Michigan was the dominant team all year. Year before that was Georgia. The last 2 years previous to that, and Ohio State roster wise and all the veterans they had, they should have been the dominant team this year, going on to win the whole thing. And here they are again. You spent all that money. He tried buying a championship, was what he tried doing, trying to build the program laterally. I mean, the 2021 class had the highest blue chips of 5 stars ever in Ohio State history, and they have nothing to show for it. No Big Ten title, no win in the game, no nothing.
No, the whole program is a shell what it used to be. It's a glamour program right now. The fandom sucks. At the games, that's a joke. I'm in no hurry to go to an Ohio State game. Hell, I could have bought tickets to that game Saturday, that playoff game. I'm off. I'm on vacation. I'm in no hurry to go down there. Why to sit with a bunch of fuddy-duddies who just don't even get up and cheer? And it's what it is down there. It's just like this entitled attitude. Oh, we're Ohio State. We haven't won shit since 14, and prior to that, you haven't won shit since 03. So the whole program needs a revamp. Everything does. I'm tired of this. Oh, we're Ohio State, and that's what it's turned into. It's living off Woody Hayes, and because they're not winning shit.
Yeah, I agree.
They're selling T-shirts though.
Yeah, that's but
sell the shit out of T-shirts.
But gosh darn it, you're getting your ass beat every year. And at some point, your recruiting starts to suffer, and then that's where the changes. Then all of a sudden, the boosters get pissed off, and you got guys decommitting, and when you start to lose those recruits, and nobody wants to watch you on TV, or that's when it starts. That's when the change has to be made.
Yeah, I'm not a big college guy, but I've never really found myself in a situation where I want to go watch Ohio State around other people, because usually the people that are watching Ohio State are usually people that are pretending like they know football as they're watching it, and that's my biggest pet peeve in the world.
You're absolutely right, and because you know what it is, it's just like it's a trendy thing to do.
Yeah,
everybody's a Buckeye fan. You know what I mean? But they don't watch any other football.
Yeah,
they watch no other football.
Yeah,
they're not. So and that's why it's like a glamour program. It's kind of like, I'm going to the Buckeye party. They don't know shit about football, man.
Then in the first half, when it's like a touchdown game, they're just all pissed off and shit. And the second half, when they pull away and they just start blowing out the team, they're back to happy again. It's just like, oh, I can't do this.
And they're the quickest ones to defend this bullshit that's going on right now. Make excuses for it.
And then when they lose and shit the bed, then it's there's always next year. We got to give them another shot and just keep hanging. I'm like, how many more years are you gonna keep giving? Like, it's like with the Browns. How many more years can you keep giving this experiment? It's not working.
If Ryan Day beats Oregon, if Ryan Day beats Oregon in the second round, you don't think there's going to be a campaign to keep him?
It's already started now.
He has to win it. He has to win a national title. Because I don't care about the Michigan shit. People are all they're worried about Michigan, dude.
Oh yeah,
you haven't won a national title, Ryan Day. What's that?
They went around Ohio State's campus and they were asking people, would you rather beat Michigan or win a national title? And 70% of them said we'd rather beat Michigan.
Well, those are a bunch of idiots that probably don't know anything about football. You know what I mean? They're just around a campus all day. Where all the M's have X's over them and shit. Well, let me beat Michigan but not be in the playoff. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, you know what's
worse?
I mean?
That's just stupid.
You know what's worse?
What?
Doing neither. Doing neither, which is what Ryan Day has done. He's done neither. So
I know, but what I'm saying is
he hasn't won a national title. So why is he still?
They don't want to kick tires on Urban Meyer again.
No,
that came out, but then he came out and did an interview the other day and said he's not coming back.
There's plenty of bartenders down in Columbus to feel up for him.
I don't know with Urban. Urban's so unpredictable.
They're going to get Marcus Freeman.
I don't care if Ryan Day's beat Michigan if he's beat Michigan every year. I still don't want him as the coach because he hasn't won a national title.
And
he dyes his beard.
Yeah, I mean,
which is a
three names that I've heard. The three names I heard was people brought up Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel's not going to college. He has no interest in going to college.
He barely wanted to go as a student.
Right. He has no interest in any campus involvement. Luke Fickell was one name possibly, but I don't even know if Luke Fickell would take the job because he's already been at that program and he knows all that comes with the job. And I don't know if he would for sure take that. Like people think. But yeah, I think Marcus Freeman was a name that somebody I know who knows Marcus Freeman brought up to me, but I could see Marcus Freeman, but he's the only name I really could see right now. I don't know any other names. I mean, unless they're maybe Fran Brown in Syracuse. I don't know. He's done a nice job, or whoever Ross Bjork has connections with down in SEC. That's where he comes from. I don't know what, assistants out there or something, or maybe nobody knows about, but I mean, I guess Marcus Freeman, which would be odd because he's had like this back and forth with Ohio State for the last 2 years and kind of like taking shots at each other and all this stuff. So it'd be interesting if he did get the job, but
here
I don't know. I was told they're not sure if Marcus Freeman would actually leave and go to Ohio State.
If Ohio, he played there.
Well, somebody that knows him told me that he's not sure if he would actually take the job. And played for him and knows him pretty well. Talks to him still.
Which would even be crazy that he would turn that down.
Yeah, but not Michigan, but Ohio State. The turnoff with Ohio State is the demands of being the Ohio State coach, and it's you got one loss and everybody's still pissed off at you. Urban Meyer talks about all the time. It's that's the part that's not desirable that a lot of people don't want. They don't want anything to do with it. People stand outside your house, waiting outside you in the middle of the night. Fucking, I mean, that's the shit that goes on. The police got to guard their homes. So, I mean, I get it. I get it.
Well, we gotta address this. Hefe says, "LOL, the Browns beat Oregon by several touchdowns. 100 times in a row, dummy." Well, dummy, if you watch the Browns game, I don't think they would. How could you say they'd beat anybody? And it was a joke, but dummies like you can't take.
Well, hey, dumbass, we're actually. You think we're all serious about that? That an NFL team couldn't beat these college teams? We're being facetious.
Right.
Dumbass.
Here's the link too. We don't talk in comments. Here's the link. Hit the link. You're so tough. Right here. Come on up. But anyways,
sorry to talk about your beloved Browns.
Yeah. Such a glamorous.
You're one of those people that don't really know anything about football and just make continuous excuses for their bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
I'm really hoping this guy clicks the link.
Oh, please make my night.
If Ohio State loses to Tennessee, how long till Ryan Day's fired?
He should be fired right after the game.
I think he's fired with. I think they call a timeout with 10 seconds left and fire him. Wouldn't that be great? The AD just comes out and calls a timeout and fires him on a sideline. I would buy season tickets next year and quit my job if it meant that's what it took for me to go to every game on a Saturday. I'd be the super fan. Fire that son of a bitch right on the sideline.
Some people said they weren't sure if they would fire him though because they would be like a $30-something million like payout or buyout or whatever it would be, like money they'd have to pay.
Yeah, I think they part. I don't know if they will even fire him at that point. I think they quote unquote mutually part ways, but I think that he has to get at least at least to Oregon in a close game to even have thoughts of him keeping his job. But I don't even know.
Think so, dude. I think
Yep.
he here. Oregon's not supposed to be the Big Ten champion. It's supposed to be Ohio State. They invested the money. He's been there this long. That's not the standard. He has to win the national title or get out.
I agree.
I don't
Yeah.
think. I don't. This bracket does not look well for them.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They invested all that money. He's been the coach there this long. They've invested all that money this year. You better win the national title. If you don't, get out. I don't care how hard the bracket is. You should still be beating Tennessee, or they should be beating everybody if they were coached properly.
That's what I'm saying. You spent $20 million. You have all that talent. You should beat Tennessee. You should have beat Oregon back in Eugene back in, what was that, September, I think it was. They the clock management in that game, they should have won that game, I thought. So you could win that, or should, people would say.
What I'm saying, 4 games in a row, like they would have to in 1 month beat Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, essentially, and Notre Dame or Georgia in a month. I don't know if they're capable of going through 4 of those teams in 1 month in a row.
Maybe he should have won his conference.
Like I don't think Ryan. I don't think they can against Ryan. Like with Ryan Day as their head coach, I don't know if mentally they'll be able to fight through that.
Well, they wouldn't have to do that if they won their conference. If they just won their, you know what I mean. So again, it goes back to him. So here, he made his bed. Now you made it harder. You got to win. You got to win national title or pack of shit and go back to New Hampshire.
But with all those veterans in the $20 million roster, he should have the depth, because depth's gonna be very important in this new format. Guy, you know what I mean? Because we play more games, and he should still get through that.
Well, here you made a point there. The depth that they have.
Right. You use $20 million roster. You should have a good amount of depth, especially the guys you recruit, the veterans you have. I mean, your second running back could be a starter probably in any other team in the
left
country.
Tackle is out, and here, I mean, obviously, Tennessee, they have a good D line. I don't know. I don't know if they get past Tennessee. I honestly don't know if they win that game.
I don't know if they do either, just because I don't know how this last game affects them going forward. But
right, the whole team could have turned against him.
Mahomes, will you throw a touchdown, you douche?
He's this game is a yawner.
I mean, the Will Dissly thing just has me just sideways. I mean, how are you a 260-pound tight end and you leave the game with an injury to your shoulder? Come on.
Before we close up, Dan, I know you got on a little bit. You got a little bit later, Dan. We don't have to sit on it too long because it's the same old script. I'm just curious your thoughts on the Browns after today's. Now they're officially eliminated from the playoffs. Not that anybody thought they'd get in, but just your thoughts overall.
Well, I mean, I have to give Stefanski a little bit of credit, because a certain percentage of the team does still look like they're really trying, despite the fact that there's really absolutely no reason to whatsoever. Now, that might end after Pittsburgh week, because that might have been the Pittsburgh thing going on there and wanting to win there twice in a year and stuff like that. But there's a few positive glimmers of something that could be. But unfortunately, we have too many holes everywhere, and it almost needs a complete reset and a reboot all the way around. I mean, I am glad they are still trying to win, so they don't feel pressured to take a quarterback, and they can maybe have a bridge quarterback and get some building pieces, fix the offensive line, do some of the stuff they should be doing. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're 30 some years of this, not winning their division and not really being a competitive football team that I'm in. So it's like, this is just the norm.
How
this
far
is
do you think?
unfortunate.
How far do you? Because I know you. Oh, go ahead.
This is just the norm. This is just what it is. I mean, it's just crazy. Jameis is at least entertaining people in the meantime, but he need not stay around an extra amount of time based on him having a nice personality that people like to
That
fun
wears
at
off
and laugh at.
eventually.
I mean, I don't need my quarterback to be a stand-up comedian or someone that entertains in press conferences and pregame speeches. I'd rather have him throwing to the right team.
No, I agree, and we made that point earlier. Somebody said that this week. I heard that eventually that stuff wears off. You know, and you're losing games. Like eventually, guys in the locker room will be like, "Okay, we're kind of tired of it." And he's the guy that. Go ahead.
That shit coincides with winning.
Yeah.
You can do that when you're winning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're losing, you should be out there fucking acting like you're winning. I mean, you think this guy's undefeated. You know what I mean? You think they got no losses the way you know what I mean? I love the positivity, but my gosh, come on.
Yeah. He's going to become the Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's on the same career path as that. He's going to bounce around. He's going to be on a different team every 2 years, and he's going to get
trying to get himself on TV post football.
Yeah.
That would be entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Did you guys watch that Bills-Rams game?
No.
Brady's voice. He's sick. Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, Brady's. Yeah, he was a little under the weather today.
It was just horrible listening to it.
Yeah, I don't know. Dan, we'll finish with this. I know Anthony said today after the game he thinks the Browns are really more just a couple of tweaks away, maybe get a quarterback and kind of reconstruct. He said some changes to the roster and they'll be okay. But I don't know. When I look around this roster, how long? I know you think they're heading for a rebuild. How long do you think we could be looking at here for this rebuild? I mean,
I don't know, but the Browns just need to call Mike and make him the new play-by-play guy because the absolute positivity he has in his voice when he's watching just the worst things ever transpire on TV and football games is a very good trait that he has.
Yeah, yeah, he does. And he's got his own show coming. We got the Professional Fan will be coming here shortly, maybe this week. You see there, the Professional Fan with Mike Antonis, only professional takes.
Let's do the intro for it.
I'll give him this. He knows every one of those bums on the entire roster. I mean, he called out a Winston Reed play, which I was amazed by when he hit the Winston Reed on the play-by-play. But I mean,
you think I should put it up there now, Jersey?
Yeah, just put the intro up there for everyone to see, so they get ready for it.
Well, there will be a tweak to it. He wants to change his photo, but so that'll be the only tweak. He's got something planned for that, so we'll keep that to surprise. But no, I'm up here twice. Hold on one second.
Professional Fan.
Yeah, the Professional Fan with Mike Antonis. So
only professional takes. That's my favorite line.
Yeah, that's
what he wanted. Give me 1 second. We get this up here, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. What Mike's got up his sleeve on that show. That's going to be very entertaining.
As long as it's not Damian Lillard playing small forward.
That wasn't his take.
Oh, that was Lynch?
Yeah, that was Lynch.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I remember when he said it. I remember exactly what he said. Even Mike would not have even said that. That's something Mike knows not to say. But yeah, he's gonna be doing some stuff. I know he's gonna go heavy in the draft. He said on his first couple shows, looking ahead to the draft, and he's gonna go outside and do other
his draft research this year.
What's that?
We get a backstage look at all his bevy of draft research he does every year.
Yeah, I want to have him do that. I want to have that get up here, but get that research up there. He does too. As soon as I called him the day after the game, it was like an hour after the game or something. He's on his phone doing mock drafts. That's all he does is mock drafts. Constant mock drafts. So he's real high right now, and the Browns taking Mason Graham. I know that, but
Mason Graham is supposedly going to go number 1 overall.
Oh,
He was in there. The last mock draft was Mason Graham going 1 overall.
Well, here's Mike's video in case you guys want to see it. It's a snippet of the professional fan.
God.
It's so Mike.
And that was made by yours truly. So, yeah, shout out to Mike.
I could just see it. As soon as he goes on there, he's got a cigarette in his mouth. He just
Oh, he's getting the turtleneck too. He's got the black turtleneck he's gonna be wearing. Mike's going full into this.
Is there going to be like a fireplace in the background with like, the fire going and some sort
Yeah,
of
that might be what his pets. He'll have his pets behind him. He's got like 7. He got like 3 dogs and 3 cats. So
he'll have a smoking jacket on.
yeah.
Oh,
He's getting all prepared for it.
The professional fan. And he picked that photo of him in the mink coat tugging a cigarette to be the profile picture.
No, he wants to change that. I put that in
okay.
there because that's the only one I had of him. So, but he's sending me a photo tomorrow. I'm gonna swap it out. So that next time you see that, it'll be a different photo of Mike. That'll be the one I'll put out publicly. But
Nice.
But yeah, I might as well just show that. I mean, that's what it's gonna be. So for the video.
What hours of the day is this show gonna be on? Is this like an 11 p.m. like late night?
Oh yeah, this is late night with Mike. I mean, this is late night with Mike, sitting by the fire and just listen to Mike talk about whatever he's talking about.
The Chiefs have pulled it out again. My goodness. Doinked one right off the upright.
And that's who the Browns get to play next. Lovely. Well, Dad, what do you think the score of that's going to be next one? The Browns Chiefs game.
35-0.
Not gonna be that bad. The Chiefs can't beat anyone that bad. Actually, they very rarely ever cover. They like let teams hang around on them. I don't. One of these teams is gonna get them. I don't think the Chiefs are gonna be in the Super Bowl this year. Although they're getting healthy at the right time, but they let teams hang around on them. Oakland hung around on them. These guys hung around on them without 2 of their best players. And the Raiders hung around on them too just recently. Their average margin is like they've won 9 games by under 3 points or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think the Browns. Browns keep it closer than what people think. I think it's like 17-6.
Bunch of Browns beat them. Kansas City just come in, shit the bed, play down.
Yeah, all week everybody's talking about fire this guy, fire everybody, and how abysmal it is, and they go out and win the game against the Chiefs. But
yeah, their wins are against Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City.
Yeah,
I mean, Jameis will give you a puncher's chance in just about anything if the balls land in the right hands.
I'm gonna say it's a more competitive game, but I'm gonna say Jameis throws a pick at the end and they lose. So I'm gonna say
he'll throw one at the beginning too.
Yeah, beginning and the end.
The middle. No, the middle.
Yeah, I'll say 27-24 Browns. Love the ball, chance to go upset the Chiefs, and then he throws a pick.
I just can't help but to watch Josh Allen every week and go, man, he would have been good in brown and orange, wouldn't he?
I know. I said that we watched him the other night. Remember I told you that, Dad? We were sitting there. I was like, yeah, we could have drafted that guy.
I mean, just a big body, huge AFC North prototypical quarterback. Just perfect.
Drew Aller has always reminded me of him. I'm not saying he's Josh Allen, but who the fuck knew about Josh Allen when he was in college? But he's big. Right, 6'5", 238 pounds. And
well, Drew Aller
when he plays, it reminds me of Allen.
Yeah, I saw him play at Medina. I saw him play against Stowe at Stowe High School. He was a bad dude. I mean, he was an Elite 11 guy. He was talented. I don't know if he went to the right school for quarterback development, but I don't know if they've ever put out. But it'd be interesting.
Trace McSorley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. Stay tuned for the fix with Dan and Chris. We'll be looking forward to that. I think Thursday nights. I think we were talking about guys maybe or something like that. You guys will
sometime after the lines came out. Maybe a little Sunday pregame.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. We'll do that Sunday pregame. You guys let us know in the comments, and that'd be great either way. So stay tuned for that. Well,
where's the bully that was coming on the stream?
He never came back. And then I got tired of looking at him, so I just threw him out of the chat anyways. So I gave him 20 minutes to come up here though.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but he didn't want the smoke. He was just a troll. But that's okay. We still like you anyways, Hefe. Shout out to you. But even though you were trolling today.
Yeah.
Remember when the Browns drafted Spurgeon Wynn and passed on Tom Brady? Oh yeah.
Yeah, the whole league passed on Tom Brady.
I remember when the Browns took Justin Gilbert
6
over
times.
Aaron Donald. Yeah, I remember we were at our school, my school play at a Christian school. We're out in the car in the parking lot with all the parents, and on the ESPN radio, my dad hears the Cleveland Browns select Justin Gilbert. He's like, "Who the fuck is Justin Gilbert?" with his window down right in front of everybody. And they took Justin Gilbert over Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Well, we also took big money Gerard Warren over Adrian Peterson.
Oh man.
Yep, Gerard Warren.
Big money Gerard Warren.
And Anthony Swartz over Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And I think Courtney Brown over LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, big Courtney Brown over
the Quiet Storm.
Brandon Whedon over literally anyone else they could have drafted.
Yeah.
And play pigeons.
Drafted a quarterback that was cross-eyed. He was cross-eyed. How the heck did he throw the ball? 28 and cross-eyed.
He was 28 too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
28
was quite
29.
28 and cross-eyed. Put that on a t-shirt.
They're quite possibly the history of the Browns draft picks. It has to be the worst.
Put the video up, Joseph.
We got to do a show on that.
Put the video up, Joseph. The video I sent you today.
Gilbert is still waiting on his alarm clock to go off. You said what? The plate pigeon video?
Yep, that video I sent you before the stream. Put that up. What it's like to be a Browns fan.
Oh, that one. Hold on, I gotta email that.
Let all the people know.
Oh, I will. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, it's a terrible, terrible thing.
I'm not even sure that Justin.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That draft we took Johnny Manziel that same draft.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, we took Justin, then we took Johnny later on. That was some great picks, weren't they?
After he had his agent running routes in our workout because he got all of the other guys drunk.
He's the only guy his agent run around in his workout.
And we still picked him. Didn't even care.
Then wasn't there something with Justin Gilbert too? They asked Justin Gilbert a question in his pre-draft. It was something man, I can't remember what it was. My uncle just told me this again recently. They asked Justin Gilbert like a question about something at a workout, and he gave like the dumbest answer. I mean, it was like something the other teams would have been like, no way in hell we're drafting this guy, and they still took him.
I'll have him research.
I mean, the guy could tell you, I don't want to play in Cleveland. They could tell him that, and they'd still take him.
Did you guys see Deion Sanders ask the Raiders to draft his boys?
Oh yeah.
Well, he came out and said that because Archie Manning pretty much came out and said they want Arch to play for the Cowboys.
I'm out. Have a good one, fellas. Thanks for all for tuning in again. We'll see you in the next one, bro.
Whose static is that?
Dan, I think you got a static coming out of yours.
Dan, put away the chips.
That's not chips, dude. I don't know what that is. Is it better now?
Nah, it's real staticky. Here, I'll mute you for a second. Maybe try to fix it.
on.
I'll play that video real quick. Okay. Yeah, here's the video Dan sent me earlier. Let me make this full screen so you guys can see this here. This is what it's like to be a Browns fan.
Every Sunday at 1.
Yeah, that was what it's like to be a Browns fan.
That reminds me of something else that we used to, somewhere else we used to be.
Yeah.
The 8th of the month. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 8th to 12th of the month.
Merry Twistmas.
Yeah. That was when the number came out.
Yeah.
Well, we only got so many of
That's
those
the first
games
thing I
left,
thought
folks, for
of.
the Browns. So we'll be getting kicked in the, you know what, the rest, have to watch it every Sunday. Only a certain amount of games left. We can forget about the season. But you guys got any final words? Should we close up shop here? Anyone?
No,
Like and subscribe. Follow the channel. Good content to come.
Yes, the Real Media.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got some great shows coming. You saw The Professional Fan, The Fix with Dan and Chris. We're gonna have some more down the road too, so stay tuned. Gentlemen, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it, Chris and Dan.
yeah, absolutely.
Chris's
Go
face is
Lions.
making its debut soon.
Go Lions, baby.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
will see Chris's face on The Fix. So
Well, they already got to see my photo.
I know, but now they get to see you in person, like talking.
That was like a glamour shot. They need to see the real one.
Glamour shot.
I have only gone just mustache only.
No.
Yes, I have, baby.
You're rocking just a stash?
You darn right I am.
Oh my gosh.
I started it yesterday. My wife is thrilled.
I bet she is. You probably look like Kurt Rambis.
Here, I'll give you.
Kurt Rambis.
Oh, here we go. Wait, hold on. Yeah, we can't see you.
Don't worry, I'm turning the lamp on.
Oh my God.
What's up?
What's up? Coming soon to The Fix. This guy.
Nice.
You gotta get Morosco to do his.
You look like Montez from Workaholics.
And,
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
guys, stay tuned. You'll see more of that stash on The Fix. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share.
The stash that will cash.
That's right. The stash that will cash. That's Chris's slogan right there. But well, appreciate you guys for coming on. I'll see you two on the either the next reel or the first episode of The Fix. So
Absolutely.
Yep. See you guys
guys.
around. Have a good week.
Yeah.
you
See ya.
Later.
Well, Jersey, it was a good show again tonight. You know, we had to go off on Hefe for a bit, but shout out to Hefe. Yeah, I guess he was just a little emotional about the title there. But anyways, that was a pretty good show. Yeah, you want to be able to like, subscribe, and share?
There, you're watching it. That's why. Now I can't think of any other show online on YouTube that is similar to this, and you know, it's just raw content, and we get up and we you know, we have fun, and like Joseph's saying, he's adding 2 shows this week, going actual media company and actually producing other shows, and the content's going to be excellent, and you know, it's different, and it's organic, and it's authentic, and that's why you should share it. That's why people should like it and should share it, and because nothing else like it. So, and it's just going to keep getting better and better.
Absolutely. And you guys heard the show today with Mike. Mike did a great job, and so we'll be doing more of that for the rest of the season. Mike will make the Browns' somber games look, and make them more fun, like Dan said, and more enthusiastic and optimistic. So, and yeah, like, subscribe, share all the good stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next one. We're out of here. Go.